Hello and welcome to a special edition of Sport Trap. Any edition of Sports Trap is special right now. I'm Mike Wigdar, and I'm here with my friend Frank Walsh. And we're actually here to do a sports show, folks, believe it or not. Since I think the last time we did it, maybe we have a new president, Joe Biden, and we definitely have a new Red Sox manager, Frank. That's Alex Cora. So I suppose we can start there with our Red Sox, and let's hope that they started awfully bad, but maybe this will be a year that they don't end up in last place. So anyway, Frank, welcome to the show again, my friend and buddy. How are you doing?
I tell you, it's been a long time, Mike. I tell you, we've only done about maybe 352 shows. We'll figure it out sooner or later.
Right.
We'll figure it out. But yeah, it's so good to see you, man. And it's nice that the two of us are fully vaxxed.
That's right.
Looking up, and that hopefully we can get into the studio and do it live in the studio rather than do it through this. But anyway, good to see you, Mikey. It's been too long. But yeah,
Right.
a lot of things have gone on since the last show. We have a new president, but we'll leave that for a conversation of another day. But we also have the new manager, Alex Cora. And I was pretty excited when I heard that he was coming back. And I think that the team looked like it was rallying around him. And even though they got off to a less than auspicious start, they seem to have found their groove. They're getting the bat on the ball. They got a couple of clutch hits. Instead of being 3-0, they're now being 2-3. And as we're speaking right now, they're probably throwing out the first pitch of the game today. And hopefully at the end of the day, they can be 3-3 and start off with a clean slate. But what's your take on the Sox so far this year from what you've seen, Mikey?
Well, I'll tell you, I was last night. We were watching. Anyway, whatever. People watching different things. We're watching an episode of The Crown, and it was late. It was like watching the news, and I found out that the Sox were still playing. So I turned on this, went to the Sox station, Nesson, and then in the 12th inning. And, they're starting now with men on second base for each extra inning, which is, good because the game won't go on forever, hopefully.
Yeah, we can chat about that in a sec.
Yeah, so anyway, it turns out, so they're man on second. I think there was a pass ball, second and third. Anyway, Martinez comes up, who's been really one of the top hitters so far.
Yep.
And he comes through with a double, or with a hit over the head of their right fielder who's playing in.
And we get a little bit lucky there because the ball turned them around.
Yeah, and they won the game 6-5. So instead of being 1-4, Frank, as we could be talking about right now, they're 2-3, like you said, and they're beating the Tampa Bay Rays, who was a team that destroyed them last year. When I did some looking up on it, I think they won 13 out of 14 games. So yeah, things are looking up. Let's hope they can sweep them, just like the Orioles swept us. Terrible stuff.
Yeah, and it was good to see that in order to get to the extra inning, a little catcher there came up and hit a home run that right. I don't think it's come down yet. He hit a shot that's probably on the back of a truck in Chicago by now because he probably landed on a truck. He crushed that ball, and that's something that they didn't have last year. They didn't have a lot of clutch wins. They had very few walk-off wins, and it's nice to see that they were able to pull that out, and and they were able to do what they needed to do to get that win. But let's roll back the clock a little bit. How did you feel when that opening day came and we watched the opening ceremonies and all the players were coming out onto the field? Did you say what I did? Who dat?
I know, I did. I said, who are those guys?
Yeah.
They have so many new players. I still don't know them all. I don't know them by name. And even pitchers, too. So, they're almost like remaking them. So you're asking me for my opinion about the team. They're remaking them into the Boston Tampa Bay Rays. Boston Rays. I'm not very optimistic because first of all, obviously pitching is key, and we need Rodriguez to get back. He's on the
Chris Sale, and let's not forget Chris Sale.
Yeah, and Sale too, right? He's not there, but you're right. I don't recognize a lot of players. they were hitting in spring training, I guess. But I mean, Frank, just, to start off with, my best guess is they're going to be a 500 team, and I'll be surprised to make the playoffs. I don't know. What do you think? Am I wrong?
I think you're a little bit more pessimistic than I. I think that I heard a couple of interviews with Cora, and I heard a couple of interviews with the players, and they seem pretty confident that they have a hell of a team and that they have the chemistry and that, they're going to surprise a lot of people this year. And I was looking at the lineup, and, they've got some really good hitters. I mean, you look at the, top 5 or 6, and you get into the, the crunch of the order with, Bogarts and Martinez, and then Kiki. They picked up Kiki, who's a hell of a hitter. And then they have Devers. They've got 4 or 5 batters in a row that are really dangerous in the middle of the lineup. So if they can get some men on base, and these guys live up to the expectations or live up to their capabilities, they can score a lot of runs. And I think that they've definitely improved their pitching over last year. I mean, you and I could have pitched last year. They were horrible. Matt Barnes was very impressive last night. I watched his 2 innings of relief. He was throwing 95, 96, and I think he struck out 4 out of the 7 batters he faced. He looked really strong. But I have a hunch that, they could be a contending team.
Yeah, even though they didn't spend a lot of money on free agents or Hunter Renfroe, they didn't. Well, I mean, hopefully. I mean, I'm not. How about their pitching, though? Do you feel like their pitching is also going to be that good?
I think they can be adequate. I think that, with their offense, and again, if they hit the way that they're capable of hitting, their offense can erase some of the pitchers' mistakes. Because last year they couldn't win. If any game that was close, 2-1 games, 3-2 games, they were going to lose them. They were going to lose them. But, they are the type of a team, I think, that can put up on average 5-6 runs a night. And if their pitching holds true to form, that's enough to win many more games. Because last year they finished what? They finished maybe 20 games out, 15 games out?
Yeah, something like that. They were awful against the East Division. Yeah.
So, I mean, if they can, if they can improve their record, 10, 15 games, they're going to be a playoff team. And I think from what I see so far, that they are going to win those 10 or 15 more games than they did last year.
Well, I hope you're right. I think you're right. I think you may be right. The good thing is, they have to beat up on the teams that are supposedly not good, like the Orioles, who swept them. But here they go, maybe sweeping the Rays, who was a World Series team last year. So, yeah, if they can play well against the contending teams and beat up on the crappy teams, they could make the playoffs. I guess, I don't know, maybe I should become more optimistic, but I guess what happened, I mean, I listened to Dan Shaughnessy after they started to get swept by the Orioles, and he was like, oh, my God.
Well, the 11-2 game, I mean, the first game, they just, the guy pitched, he pitched a good game. Sometimes you have to give credit where it's due. And I think the opening game, they lost, 3-0.
Yeah.
And 3-0. And the guy pitched a hell of a game. You tip your hat to the pitcher. The 11-2 game was a joke. Right. They made defensive mistakes. Devers, we can chat about that in a second. We talked about that yesterday offline, is that, Devers scares me defensively, and he's inconsistent in the field. He's not good at going after balls. I mean, if you watch that game the other day, kind of chased after the ball, he and Bogarts, and then all of a sudden he just stopped. The ball falls in between them, for a hit. Then he makes an errant throw at the second base, throws it in right field. And then I was listening to Cora, and they were saying that he made some bad throws, that if it wasn't for the first baseman picking the ball out of the dirt or making some good plays on Devers' throws, they would have been even in deeper poop, So
Yeah, I don't get. I mean, did Devers play a flawless game yesterday? Is
He
that,
played a decent game. Yeah, he played a decent game, and
yeah,
he's
because
he's
the
playing
problem.
the ball pretty well. You know, he's getting some hard outs, but
Yeah,
you know, he's always been a question mark defensively.
I know.
And I
That's
don't
the
know who they
problem.
have. Do you have any idea who they have behind him? You know, because he does have a tendency to get injured a little bit. Who do they have behind him? Any idea?
No, I don't really have an idea, but you're thinking about him, like where else are they going to play him? I mean, he's not really the built, like if you look at the Tampa Bay third baseman, I don't know what his name is, but the guy looks very athletic out there. I see a couple of plays, he's never seems like he's bulky, upper body bulky, and he's not like easily getting down to the ball.
Yeah,
And
Devers is built like a first baseman. He's built like a first baseman.
yeah,
You know,
but they,
he's a
I
big
don't know
guy.
why they I don't know why they didn't try to convert him. They have Dahlbeck playing first base, I believe.
Right. And he's supposed to be a real up and coming star. They have a lot of potential for him. I was
Yeah,
listening to ownership saying that Dahlbeck's going to surprise a lot of people.
yeah. Do you think though that as I read an article, do you think that that's the other thing? Shaughnessy said that Fenway Sports Group now is not so much interested in the Red Sox as the overall, you know,
Sports dynasty they have.
yeah, sport, yeah, like Liverpool. He said maybe they're more interested in Liverpool because they're not spending money. Like look at the Yankees, and compare it even to any other, like another team that wins. Like the Patriots were all, weren't good last year. Look at they went out and spent money because Kraft does not want
Right.
a losing season. Like I don't know if Henry is that motivated to do that kind of thing.
That's an interesting point. But
Just for the team that's made up right now. That's what I'm trying
right.
to.
But I think that, based on what I was saying a little bit earlier of what Cora said in some of the players, that they were kind of, building a team that's on chemistry, and
Yeah,
then they have a good, solid team. They don't really have the superstars,
yeah.
but they have the chemistry and they have the makeup. And who
Hmm.
was it? I think it was either Cora or Henry who was saying, and he kind of said it with a little snark in his voice. He said something like, "Look out, everybody. We are sneaky good."
Okay, let's hope that's the truth because it doesn't seem like they're more like well, to me, they're more
Well,
like,
look at Tampa Bay last year. Tampa Bay really didn't have any superstars.
I know.
They had a good, solid team. They had decent pitching, and they had a
Yeah,
good, solid team. And
yeah,
and I think that if you have a pitching staff with an ERA, a combined pitching staff ERA of maybe between 4 and 4.5,
yeah.
and you have an offense that can produce on average 5 to 7 runs, that's a winning formula. And the Red
I-
Sox didn't have any of that last year. They didn't, and also you have to
yeah,
throw some of those clutch games. But the Red
yeah,
Sox last year had one of the worst offensive seasons and pitching seasons.
yeah.
So, if you get a staff that can give you 4.2 ERA, and you have a team capable of putting 5 to 7 runs on the board, you're going to win. You'll win more games than you lose.
Well, let's hope that happens because they're using the same formula as the Rays.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, they may end up competing with them, but then, the Yankees are still out there and they're still, formidable and they pay for people.
They bolstered their lineup too. I mean, they're going to be really tough. And of course they play the Sox tough. I mean, they're our nemesis. We had their number for a while. It seems like the pendulum has shifted the other way, where they have our
Yeah.
number for the last year or two.
Well, we have time to get our act together and maybe build up a good record before we play them. Because I was looking at the schedule, we're not even playing them until May, I think, late in May.
Really, that late? Okay, I
Yeah,
didn't see that.
I think so.
Yeah, because I think the Red Sox they're opening their season, I believe, 10 games at home. Are they not? Something
Uh,
like that.
Might be. I don't know. I'm not sure if they're playing after Tampa Bay right now. Are you? Do you know who they're playing?
No, no, it's you know,
Might
it's
be the,
just
might
been
be,
weird. This
might be the
whole
White Sox.
COVID thing has been weird trying to keep up with everything. You know,
I know.
The Red Sox have really flown under the radar. You know, they're still talking about the Patriots and Cam
Right,
Newton,
right,
quarterback. You know, the
right.
Patriots, the Red Sox have taken a back seat. I'd say that, you know, you're probably looking at, you know, Patriots, Bruins, Celtics, and then the Red Sox on the pantheon of the news. So it's really hard to keep up with everything that's going on.
Yeah, it's really interesting that the Patriots are more interesting to people and they're not even playing than the
Correct.
Bruins and the Celtics, because the Bruins and the Celtics are so inconsistent. They win one, they lose one, they win one, they lose one. They're not getting on a roll. And the Patriots, I mean, it's like nonstop talking on sports talk. So, you know, people keep saying, well, are they going to get Jimmy G? Are they not going to get Jimmy G? What do you think? I don't really want to go in with Cam Newton as their starter.
I agree. I agree. You know, well, they lost you know, the pick for the Jets. They traded away, who'd they trade away? Quarterback that they were looking at.
Yeah,
Was it
the Jets just traded Sam Darnold. Yeah,
Sam Darnold? Yeah, they would, you know,
yeah, their quarterback, and they're going to.
conversation. But what was I going to say? I lost my train of thought. Oh, the Patriots. Oh, yeah. Before I forget, you know, I was a little disappointed. You know, Tom Brady's rookie card sold for what, 2.5 million or something.
Yeah, I think he's almost setting a record now. Yeah.
Yeah, I was really disappointed
Did
because
you have it?
my sports wrap rookie card only went for 38 cents.
Yeah. Uh,
Imagine that, a baseball, football card, 2.5 million or whatever the hell it was.
well, I know. Well, Mickey Mantle back in the day, I think, held the record for like millions. I'm not sure if his.
Unbelievable. But I mean, but you know, they're talking more about that stuff on the radio than they are about the Red Sox.
I know they're not. And the Celtics are very disappointing. They just, I don't know. I personally didn't like the draft that
Yeah,
Danny Ainge did.
I
Uh,
think he's the problem. I think Danny's more the problem,
yeah, he's not.
not doing anything.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, people want to trade their two young stars. I don't want to trade them. I think he needed to bring in people to supplement him. He's got
Yeah,
this guy that he brought in was really good the last two games, and now he's on the COVID protocol. That
right,
keeps coming up.
right.
You
Well,
know.
they, you know, I think they're still in the playoffs, but they're going to have to sneak in if they keep playing like this. I think they're only I think after last night's loss, maybe 2 games. You know,
Yeah.
2 games into the playoff at this point. You
Yeah.
know,
No.
and the same thing with the Bruins. I mean, the Bruins have been really inconsistent. I remember when I was following them, and then they kind of fell off my radar. Did Tuukka Rask ever get his 300th win? Because I mean, he was sitting at
Yeah.
299 for the
No.
longest time.
No. He did
Right,
get 300, but evidently he's had like an upper,
right,
I don't know, body injury. They keep saying, and
right.
they had a rookie starting in goal the other night, and he won.
Yeah,
But they're not, and the other guy, I think their other goalie, Halleck, is also in COVID or something. He's not playing.
right.
They're in and out. These teams are in and out, and I don't know. It's amazing that. I mean, look at this. Baseball has to have a 162 game season. Can you think that could happen with no problems?
That's an interesting question. I tell you what really surprised me. Did you see the Texas game the other day?
Oh, that is insane. Isn't that
Full
insane?
capacity. They had what? They had like 75,000 people in there, sandwiched in, you know, shoehorned in there.
Yeah, no masks. Like it was like,
And they had a mask mandate. I mean, it was mandatory to wear masks. But, you know, from what I could see, probably the same video you saw, it looked like half of them or more didn't have one on.
nope. And they were sitting side by side. You're right. It's crazy. But they
Yeah.
don't have a mask mandate in Texas now.
Yeah. I don't think they have one in Florida either. I'm not sure about that, but I don't think so.
No, I don't think
But I
so.
don't know. You know, it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. I haven't heard anything about the athletes having any kind of prioritization for getting vaccines.
Yeah, I don't. That's a good question. Yeah, you're right. I don't.
About that.
They definitely should be right up there. I mean, now
Right.
the general population is like almost. I mean, Biden's having them. Everybody being ready to get shots in the next couple of weeks.
Right. Yeah,
Uh,
it's going to be interesting. And it was so weird watching the game too with the sparse crowd, watching the Red Sox game and a couple of other games I kind of flipped back and forth on, seeing, you know, at least in the camera shot, you could only see like 20 people, and they still put that background crowd in there to make it seem like there were more people.
Yeah, and you know what else? It's like, were they taking only like 12%? I was looking ahead to see, maybe I was just thinking going to a game down the road. I
Right.
haven't looked much beyond May, but they're sold out through May
Really?
because they're only taking a small percentage,
Yeah.
um,
They'll probably,
because we're running out of time
yeah, we have a small time limit, but we're good. We have about maybe 2 minutes left.
Wow, that flew.
Anything else interesting to chat about? I know the
Yeah,
Masters.
how about, I do have something.
Go ahead.
Oh, I do have something. How about that Red Sox uniforms they're going to have just for Patriots weekend? Did you see
Oh,
them?
the bananas, the bananas.
Yeah, what do you think of those? Yes or no?
It's I think if you just look at them without understanding a little bit of the story behind them, it's kind of odd. But because they're kind of tying that in with the marathon,
Right.
and I believe what they're doing is that was the same kind of uniform that Martin Richard wore.
Wow, really?
I believe so. I believe so. I don't think they come out and said that, but I kind of put two and two together. I may be wrong, but if memory serves me, that was the uniform that Martin Richard wore.
Well, thinking about it that way, I mean, they're kind of, when I first saw them on TV, I thought they were the ugliest thing I've ever seen. But
Yeah.
symbolic, and they're not Red Sox uniforms like people were saying, but,
Yeah, they just say Boston on it, right?
huh?
It just says Boston on it.
Yeah, it just says Boston, but I agree with you. I mean, you're thinking about the symbolism of it. They're only going to wear it for the weekend.
Right.
Thank God for that. But yeah, I guess, it's a good way to symbolize the marathon. It's not going to be there.
Right. Right. Well, I think
So-
on that note, I think we just zipped through another show, Mikey.
It's amazing, isn't it? How quick that is? Jesus.
We have a couple of people to thank, right? Dave Young and
That's right.
Mark
Dave Young,
Robert.
Dave Young, Mike Hammond, and Robert Teller.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if CJ's there, but if he is, thanks, CJ.
Yeah.
And everybody, staff, people helped us put this together.
And it's great to see you, Mike.
Oh,
It's great to see you, man. I haven't seen you in months, many months.
That's true. So, we should be able to maybe get together. We'll have to see. It's all about Smack right now, how they handle this. All right. So from Wigdor, we'll do our usual sign off, right? Mike Wigdor?
And Frank Walsh, we will see you down the road.